Hi everyone. So today this video is going to be a continuation of yesterday's video, which was about multiplying polynomials. Okay, but all what you have to concentrate on today's lesson is that we are going to do a bit longer uh, multiplying of polynomials. So there are some methods which we can use. Basically there are four methods to solve, but I have chosen the easy two for you. uh, so it's up to you, whichever way you want you can solve. Okay, so the most important one when we multiply polynomials is that first we have to group the like bases together. Now if you have not watched yesterday's video on how to multiply simple polynomials, you can go ahead, watch yesterday's video and then come back. Unless you watch yesterday's video, you will not understand anything in today's lesson. So watch that video, or you can click the I card above to go back to that video. You don't need to keep searching. So you can watch that and then watch this video. Now these are the four different kinds of questions which will be given to you for solving. Now in yesterday's lesson we already have learned almost this part where we are multiplying the term with what's inside, but today we will be going a bit further, a bit ahead, and learning how to multiply longer polynomials. Now this is a quick review of yesterday. As you know, when we multiply polynomials, we don't multiply the exponents, rather we add the values of the exponents, or we add the degrees. Okay, so here we multiply the bases first, so we group them. So 2 multiplied by 5 first, then t, 3 multiplied by t, and then r square. So 2 5s will give you 10, then t multiplied by t to the power of 3 multiplied by t will give you t to the power of 4. That's because we are just adding in the exponent, we don't multiply them. Then r square remains the same, as there is nothing to multiply with r square. So the answer is going to be 10 t4 t to the power of 4 r square. Similarly, this was another example where you had two terms inside the parenthesis. So if you have two terms inside the parenthesis, that means your answer will have two terms as well. So all what you need to do is multiply the fr square s square with r first, and then multiply fr square s square with 3s. So you use each term once to multiply with what's outside, the term outside. So once you multiply that, you will get fr square multiplied by r will give you fr cube, and s square will be s square. How did we get r cube? Because the value of the exponent power is 1 here, so 2 plus 1 is 3. Then 5 multiplied by 3 will give you a negative 15 r square and s cube because it's 2, and then 1 here, 2 plus 1 will give you a 3. Now, keeping this in mind, let's go to today's remaining part of the lesson. That's how do we multiply binomials. All right. Now, when you're multiplying binomials, as I said, there are four methods. You can use a grid method. You can use the horizontal method. There is a vertical method of multiplication, and also there is this called the FOIL method. As you can see, FOIL, FOIL, FOIL. That stands for something. What does that stand for? F stands for first, O stands for out, I stands for inner, and L stands for last. So this is why we call it FOIL method, as we are using this order. In fact, this is an order to multiply binomials. So let's see an example how we can use this FOIL method to solve this question. To multiply this. So FOIL, F is first, which means first. What is first? You're going to multiply the first two terms. So this is the first term for this binomial, and this is the first term for this one. So multiply the first two terms. So you can see the same color I have indicated the arrow so that it will be more clear for you. So first multiply x with x, that's the first term. Then comes the next one, which is O, which is out. What is out? The outer terms. They want you to multiply the outer terms. Outer means the first and the last. So first you multiply first and first, then you multiply the first and last. So that's x multiplied by negative 5. That's the out. And then I is for inner. You multiply the inner terms, the inside terms. All right, so you multiply the inside terms. and then you multiply the last terms. Last terms means it doesn't mean this because they are the outer terms. Last means the two last, this and this. These are the two last terms for each of those binomials. So you multiply this with this. Don't get confused with these arrows. If you know how to put these arrows properly, you will understand this. But this method is perfect for multiplying binomials. But when you have to multiply trinomials, this method is not suitable. Though you can use it, but it will take a bit longer method of doing it. So for if you are just multiplying two binomials, this is the perfect method. All right, so what you're going to do, first multiply x with x, that will give you an x square. Then next is out, which is this with this, so that's x multiplied by -5 will give you a -5x. And then the inner terms, that's 2 multiplied by x will give you a positive 2x. And then finally the last terms, that's 2 multiplied by -5, which will give you a -10. So now, are we done with the question yet? Not yet. Why is that? Because we have to simplify this. As you can see, we can solve a -5 and 2x. So -5 plus 2x will give -5x plus 2x will give you a -3x. So the answer finally is x squared minus 3x minus 10. So you have to be careful. Wherever you can simplify, you have to simplify the answer before you give the final answer. All right. So this is how you use the FOIL method to to multiply binomials. Now let me show you another method that's called the vertical method of multiplication, that follows the same as how we are multiplying normally the numbers. So here I'll show you how to do using the vertical method of solving multiplication. Now multiplying the binomials. Now this method, as I told already, is very similar to multiplying 2 or 3 digit numbers as how we usually do. For example, if you're multiplying 325 by 32, what do? The first thing you do is you multiply this whole thing with the 2, right? This is the first step we do. So first we multiply 325 by 2. This is what we do first. This is the first step, right? So same step we will do here. Let me first write down the question. So start by writing the the binomials right under each other like that. Okay. So here we are going to multiply them. So let's multiply. Okay, what we are going to do, as here we multiply the 325 by 2, here we are going to multiply x plus 2 by -5. So let me show you separately what happens when you multiply x plus 2 with -5. All right, so this is going to give me a -5, 6 and minus 10. So if you multiply -5 with x plus 2, that will give me a -5x minus 10. -5 multiplied by x is -5x. -5 multiplied by positive 2 is -10. Okay, so I'm going to write that down here. So -5x minus 10. Okay, now coming back to this question here, once we multiply 325 by 2, we will get some number here. Okay, we will get, for example, let it be x, some number. What's the next step we are going to do? Before we multiply the next digit, we always add a 0. The 0 is called the magical 0. So second, we add 0. This is the second step, right? Add 0. Let me write it in words because if not, 0 will look like something. Okay, so let me write, whether it's a positive 0 or negative 0, it doesn't matter anyhow. When you do anything to 0, answer is going to be the same. So second is going to be at 0. And then finally, third, what do? We multiply 3 with 325 again, right? So the same thing we are going to do. The third step, here we multiplied 325 by 3. This is how we multiply. So what do you think we are going to do here? Here we will multiply x plus 2 with x. So let me write it down here separately. X multiplied by x plus 2. Now let's solve this. X multiplied by x will give me x squared, right? Because the exponents, the powers are 1. 1 plus 1, 2. So then plus x multiplied by plus 2 will give me plus 2x. So start by always writing from the right hand side so that we know where they belong properly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add them. Add or subtract according to what the sign is. Okay. Here we add. Once we multiply, then we keep adding. But here it's not the same. Negative 10 plus 0 will give me a negative 10. And then negative 5 plus 2 will give me a negative 3x. And then x squared is x squared because we have nothing to add there. So if you see, basically the answer is the same as what we got using the FOIL method, right? Using the FOIL method also we got the same answer. So this is how you can solve by choosing either FOIL method or by choosing the longer way of uh, multiplication. Let's see one more example using the FOIL method. So the question is x minus 3 whole square. Now x minus 3 whole square means you know it is x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. It's like the power of 2. 5 square means 5 multiplied by 5. Same thing here. X minus 3 whole square means it's going to be x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. Okay, so FOIL method. Using the FOIL method, first we will multiply the first, that's x multiplied by x, and then out will be x multiplied by negative 3. Inner will be negative 3 multiplied by x, and the last is going to be negative 3 multiplied by negative 3. So once the first one, when you multiply, you will get an x square. When you multiply the outer terms, you will get x multiplied by negative 3. That will give you a negative 3x. Then when you multiply using the inner one, you will get again a negative 3x. Then finally, the last one, you will get a positive 9 because negative 3 multiplied by negative 3 is going to give you a positive 9. Now, you're still not done with the question. As you know, you have to simplify this because both of them are x's. So x squared, then minus 3x will give me a minus 6x. That will give you plus 9. So the answer is going to be x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now let's see using the vertical method how we can do that. Okay, so using the vertical method of multiplication, x minus 3 whole square means that's going to be x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. So let me write it down in a vertical way. So I'm going to write it like x minus 3 and then x minus 3. And then I'm going to multiply them. Okay, so what am I going to do first? Of course, I'll multiply negative 3 with x minus 3. So negative 3 x minus 3. And then I will multiply x with x minus 3. X with x minus 3. Basically, it's the same, only these letters, which numbers and variables change. So let's solve this. Minus 3 multiplied by x will give us negative 3x. And negative 3 multiplied by negative 3 will give me a positive 9. This one, x multiplied by x will give me x squared. Then the other one will give me a negative 3x. So let me write them down properly. As I told you, start by writing from the right hand side. Negative 3x is the first thing I'm going to write. And the next thing is add the 0. Before adding the 0, don't write this, as the answer you're getting will be wrong. Okay, so this is going to be x squared minus 3x. So let's add them or solve them now. This is going to be x squared minus 3 will give me a minus 6x, and 9 plus 0 will give me a 9. So it's all the same answer as how you use the FOIL method or you use the vertical method. Now, FOIL method, yes, as I told before, you can only solve, it's easier to solve when you have like this, just 2. But what if you have a question like this? Okay, now in this place, when you're using the FOIL method, you need to multiply each term once using the FOIL method. So that means your steps will become a bit longer, which we don't usually want, right? So let's use the vertical method of solving it. I know it will be difficult for you to understand, but once you start solving it by yourself, it will become easier. All right, now before I confuse you with, I don't want to confuse you, but before I start showing this, let's solve this using the vertical method. All right, so let me write this as y minus 3 multiplied by y minus 5. Okay, so let's multiply them. As what do you think we are going to multiply first? We are going to multiply first, right? This y minus, as you know, we have to multiply y minus 3 two times. So write down y minus 3, y minus 3. First, we will multiply with a negative 5, and then we will multiply with y. So, negative 5 multiplied by y will give me a negative 5y, and negative 5 multiplied by negative 3 will give me a positive 15. Then here, y multiplied by y will give me a y square, because the powers are 1 plus 1. Then that other one will give me a negative 3y. I'm almost done with 3/4 of the question, right? Let me write this down. The first one, we multiply with negative 5. So I got positive 15 and negative 5y. And then don't forget to add the 0 before you write the next term. So that's going to be a negative 3y and y squared. So all what you need to do is solve this part. Okay, how are you going to solve this? Just as how you would add or subtract. This is going to give me y squared. Minus 5 minus 3 will give me a minus 8y. Plus 15 plus 0 will give me a 15. So your answer for this is y minus 3 multiplied by y minus 5 is y squared minus 8y plus 15. Okay, the question is something and the answer is something. I know you might think, what's this? The question is with 5 and 3, but slowly you will learn what's the relationship between the answer and the question. All right, let's solve one more question. Now this is not difficult one, but it has a power here, so that's it might confuse you, but let's do it slowly. We can do it slowly, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So write the first term, unless if there's a longer term, write that first. And then a minus 3b. So let's multiply them. So first, write down the upper one 2 times inside parenthesis, as we're going to multiply that 2 times. So 4a cubed minus 2b. Okay, so first we will multiply with negative 3b, and then we will multiply that with an a. All right, so yesterday's lesson again comes here. So when you're multiplying two terms, you have to multiply the numbers first, the bases first. So that will give me a negative 12. 4 multiplied by negative 3 will give me a negative 12. Now there is nothing to do with b here. So b remains the same, and there is nothing to multiply with a also. So a remains the same as well. So a to the power of 3 and b. That's it. Now minus, so here it's minus, which means you're going to multiply again, right? So minus 3 multiplied by minus 2 will give you a plus 6. Then b, there are two b's, which means it's going to be b to the power of 2, or b squared. So minus 3b multiplied by minus 2b is positive 6b squared. Now if you don't understand multiplication, please watch yesterday's video. As I told you before I started the lesson, you will not understand anything unless you watch yesterday's video. Okay, 4a cubed multiplied by a. Now there is no base here, so that means it's going to be a 4. Now the next variable is a. So as we already know now, there is no number means the power is going to be 1. So 3 plus 1 is going to be 4a to the power of 4. Now again, there is no number to multiply, so negative 2 remains negative 2. And then again, here there is a and there is no b here. So it remains the same, 2ab. Believe me, once you get into practice, you don't need to write these all separately. You can simply multiply directly from here and write it. So all what is needed is practice. So let's write the first one. First we multiply negative 3b by 4a cubed minus 2b. So from that we got plus 6b square and negative 12a to the power of 3b. Okay, now what's the next step? Before you move on to the next one, add the 0. The next one is 4a cubed minus 2b multiplied by a. So that's going to give 4a to the power of 4 minus 2ab. Okay, let me write this down. So minus 2ab, 4a to the power of 4. Okay, Now what I'm going to do is just like how we solve during multiplication, we are going to solve it. So here I cannot do anything, so I leave 4/8 to the power of 4. Now just notice the part here. Here we have a cube b and here we have ab, but we are not multiplying them. We are going to subtract them or add them, right? You're going to So when you multiply or subtract, you cannot add these terms together. Why? Because they have no exponents. And you know, during adding exponents, we don't add the powers, we just leave the same. So because of that, we cannot add the exponents. So we leave it in this form. When you cannot add, you just write it the same. And the other one, 6b squared, it remains the same. So this is how you need to solve. I can understand it's a bit tough, but it's your first time in learning. So as I always say, give yourself and your mind some time to absorb the new information. Definitely you will learn it faster once you start practicing. I will repeat this part again, why I did not solve minus 12a cube b and minus 2ab, because when we add or subtract polynomials, we cannot do anything with the exponents unless they are like terms. Remember the word like terms? Like terms means even the exponents should be same. So here the exponents are completely different, right? So that's why we cannot add or subtract these two. So we just write it the same, that's all. Okay, let's move on to another question. Now, let me start by writing the longer polynomial now. X squared minus 2x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 5. Okay, so what's the first thing? Let's write down this polynomial here. So that's going to be x squared minus 2x plus 3. Put them inside the parenthesis. Write it again. As you know, we have to multiply that 2 times. So, and then first you will multiply with a 5 and then you will multiply with an x. So let's multiply with 5. 5 multiplied by x squared will give me 5x squared. 5 multiplied by negative 2 will give me a negative 10x. 5 multiplied by 3 will give me a positive 15. Now moving to the next one. X multiplied by x squared will give me x to the power of 3 minus x multiplied by negative 2x will give me negative 2x squared, right? Then x multiplied by 3 will give me a plus 3x. Okay, let me write down the answers now. The first one I got plus 15 and then negative 10x and then 5x squared. Don't forget the 0 before you move on to do anything. The next one I will write plus 3x minus 2x squared and x cubed. Okay, so let's solve this. You might be wondering, your brain going round and round and round, but because that's new, you are still new to polynomials. If not, you will enjoy doing it. Okay, so this is going to give me negative 10 plus 3. That will give me negative 7x. Then 5 minus 2 will give me a positive 3x squared. Then this remains x cubed. So this is how you solve multiplication of longer polynomials. You can pause the video here and you can rewrite the question by yourself and start doing it. Do not look at the steps done on the screen. You solve it by yourself and then check it and see whether the steps you have done is correct or not. In that way, you will understand much more clear than just someone reading it and doing it for you. Okay, let's do the last question, right? I'm just doing it only for your practice. So you take the question and pause the video and you do it by yourself and then you can check the answer. So I prefer to do it in this way, the vertical way, because I feel in that way I can never go wrong and I will never miss anything because it's all in order and in a system under each other. Okay, so the first one, always write down the top one, plus 1, 2 times. We need to write it 2 times. So x squared plus x plus 1. And first we'll multiply that with negative 5 and then we will multiply that with x. So this is going to be negative 5x squared, negative 5x, negative 5. So negative 5 multiplied by x squared is negative 5x squared, negative 5 multiplied by x, negative 5x, negative 5 multiplied by positive 1 is negative 5. Okay, the next one is, this is going to give me an x to the power of 3, that's x cubed plus x squared plus x. Now x multiplied by 1 is 1x, but we don't write the 1x. So first let me write down this, the first thing we multiply. I always start from the right and go towards the left, so that I know each of them are under each other. I will not make any mistake. And your work will look neat as well, not messed up. Okay, so put the plus 0 before you move on. Then again start writing from the last term here. X plus x squared plus x cubed. Okay, so let's solve this. So that's going to be x cubed here. What happened to my x? Okay, so this is going to be x cubed. Then minus 5 plus 1 will give me a minus 4x squared. Minus 5 plus 1 will again give me a minus 4x. Minus 5 plus 0 will give me a negative 5. As you can see, there is no relationship between the two polynomials, right? So this is how you solve multiply polynomials. Hopefully you have understood. As I already said, give yourself some time, take some time for yourself, have a cup of coffee, get some cold coffee, have it, just enjoy yourself and then watch. Maybe you will understand it. As I know, it's new for you, but you have to learn it, right? So try to do more questions, keep doing it. Practice makes you perfect, as I believe in that a lot. Okay, so keep practicing till we meet in another video.